running with Metal and Metal Out. Today I got the guitarist, Josh Gould. Am I saying that correctly? Last name?
Close enough. Gould, I guess.
Gould.
Whatever. It all works.
From the band, the Myopia Condition. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's actually my first time doing an interview for the band. Usually the other guys eat them all up, so
Oh, yeah.
my share of the pie now.
Oh, yeah. And, funny enough, I hadn't heard, to be honest, I hadn't heard of y'all before until recently when I got the PR email from John, and which was just a few days ago. I was like, holy shit, man. I really dig the album that you got. And then I was like, I need to talk to these guys and see what's up.
Oh, that's good to hear, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, we've definitely been getting some pretty good positive response. I mean, it's pretty understandable you haven't heard of us yet. This is our first album, so we're still kind of in the up and up, but this is definitely a start to some many good things, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. So the album title is called Event Horizon. Was there any specific reason that you decided to go with that title?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big space fan. I love all things space. I think everybody does. Who doesn't love space?
Right.
Not too long ago, about a year or so ago, when we were just finishing up the album, there was an article that came out that I had read about a recent discovery that they made with the black hole and some of the science that came from the discovery. It involved the title in the article was Event Horizon, and we were trying to figure out what the title of the album would be, and I was like, that's a really cool name. I like that. And we've already kind of, some of the artwork that we had put together had been, just kind of very, spacey, kind of atmospheric looking, so it just kind of suited it. And as well, the meaning behind it kind of began to take form a little bit after the fact, and the fact that our band, the name, the Myopia Condition, although means, definition-wise, nearsightedness, to us it's a little bit more of a deeper meaning. So it's more about how society has become so close-minded and really nearsighted way, in the oncoming doom of the many things that are coming forward for humanity potentially. Anyway, as well, the Event Horizon. This is kind of the Event Horizon, the point of no return, essentially. So it's kind of means something similar for both. Yeah.
Right. And that's an interesting point, because for most people, they just think of short term, whether if it's personally or even into aspects of running a business. A lot of times some businesses or just the outlook of people is like, I need to make it to X month or X year, and I don't give a shit what's happening then or in the future. They're not really planning for the future, which is kind of what's happening right now. We're not planning for our future. We're just short-sighted.
No, I don't think people really have for a long time. I mean, I'm sure people do, and I mean, I'm speaking highly here, but we could definitely take some of our own advice for sure. I mean, a lot of us as well. Everybody struggles with it at the same time, with whether it's mental illness or some of the racism that's been going on around us, and as well even just trying to function in our daily lives as a global pandemic sweeps the nation.
Right. Now, when I think about the Event Horizon, did you happen to see that horror movie, Event Horizon?
Probably one of my favorites for sure. It's a great film. I mean, I want to say that it has nothing to do with the title, but I'm sure subconsciously maybe it did a little bit.
Right. But that was a pretty trippy movie. I think it was ahead of its time, but it's like a golden Easter egg to where, it's like, it is so deep to watch that movie.
Yeah, I vote for a remake. I think that should happen, and I think we should do the soundtrack for it.
Yeah, hell yeah, right? Yeah, that would be awesome. Now, your album just dropped last week, but the response has been pretty positive. Were you kind of surprised by how accepting everybody's been of it so far?
I mean, I guess it sounds a little immodest, but I guess we weren't super surprised. We're pretty confident in our art, and we worked really hard and we put this together for a long time, and so we knew we were going to get some good response for sure, but not quite to the extent that we've been getting. Like, some of the reviews have been incredible, and like it's a little bit shocking to me, because a lot of this music is music that I wrote many years ago, before the band even existed. It's just been sitting on my little studio computer for so long, and so it's kind of it's just it's just shocking to finally get some of these reviews on stuff that I never thought would even happen in the first place. So, but yeah, it's a little surprising, I guess you could say.
Yeah. And on that note, it's like, how dare you hold on to these riffs
Yeah,
and not share?
and, well, that's kind of how I felt about it for so long. Is like it's they just wrote them just for fun, really, just to test out my recording gear. Like our first single, Separation from Classification, I wrote that song almost 10 years ago, like the drums and everything pretty much. And then as soon as me and Greg decided to start messing around with some of it, it was like, I've already got something, let's give it a shot. And then I was like, wow, this is a band, this actually happened, this is great.
Yeah. Now, so you're saying most of the songs were already written before you came into the studio, where was there just fine tuning once you got in?
Well, definitely all the songs were written prior to the studio. Maybe 3 or 4 of the songs were written before the band even existed, before I even knew these guys actually. But once we jammed out those few songs that I had ready to go, and then we just started writing immediately, and I just started putting as many riffs as I could into songs. And yeah, and then as soon as we hit the studio, we were definitely pretty tight and pretty ready to hit it and do as good of a performance as we could.
Yeah. Now, what I noticed, right? I mean, obviously you got the metal in it. You got a little bit of degen sound, a little bit of breakdowns. There's, some fast stuff. But throughout the whole thing, there happens to be this underlying groove through the whole album. Now, was this something that's intentional, that from your personal influences, or something it just comes naturally as you write?
I would say kind of comes naturally. I mean, most musicians write what they like to listen to, really. And I mean, I do love a good groove, whether it's metal, whether it's rock, whether it's anything really. I mean, we all love a good beat, and so I mean, it's intentionally unintentional in a way. It's when I write music, it starts with an idea, and then I just kind of hear what it could be, and then slowly form it to be what it is. And it does always seem to go towards the groove side, although some of the new music we've been writing has been less groovy and a little bit more techy in a way, really. But I'm sure there's always going to be a way to work some groove into there, because all of us love our groovy metalcore pretty well. So
Yeah. Now, is this something that you see long term, to where you feel you can go in any direction, being able to implement these different genres?
yeah, I mean, I think as musicians, we all have the potential to go in another direction, right? I mean, some of my favorite bands started out as metal, and now they write experimental folk acoustic dance music. Who knows what it is? And I think it's good to allow yourself to go in any direction as possible as well. We As much as I could say that as well, I do love writing heavy breakdowns and groovy riffs. So I mean, I could say that we're probably going to stick to the pretty close to what we've got, but you never know in the future. There's definitely a long-term goals with this band as well. I mean, we've got stand-up guys, professional men that just really put their heart and soul into this. So it's why not? Why not shoot for the stars, right?
Oh, hell yeah. So, you being a guitarist, just to get to know you a little bit, how long have you been playing guitar, and who was like the first like guitar god or guru that made you say, I want to do that exact thing?
Slightly embarrassing, but maybe not. I've been playing since I was, seeing, I think I'm at about 17, 18 years now, roughly. I started pretty young, and I started because Blink-182 and Sum 41 were like the best bands to ever have graced my presence. And so I would say those bands are probably the biggest inspiration for picking up a guitar. And then it's moved on to bands like Thrice and In Flames and stuff like that. And then once I discovered Lamb of God, I started moving more towards the heavier, groovy side of things. And yeah, and I mean, now, some of the music I listen to is like a really good mix of all of that, really. So
Yeah, pretty good. So, would you say, who do you think has been like the most influential band for you, for kind of helping you create your sound?
I'd say Periphery for sure. huge fan of them for many years. Love. I don't think they could do wrong in my eyes. I just love everything that they do, and just the style, the atmospheres that they create. It's something to strive for, but as well not replicate. I do want to do my own thing as well, but
Right.
definitely the three guitarists in that band have definitely shaped my idea of the type of music I would like to play. Whether it comes to the heavy stuff to the softer stuff to who knows in the future, really.
Yeah. And I'm assuming you also listened to that last album too. I mean, it was an interesting uh, path, I guess they took to self-release that last album too. Let them do whatever they wanted.
I think that's the way. That's the future of music right there. I mean, independent releases are significantly better. I mean, their first track was 18 minutes long. I don't think there's any record label in the world that would be like, yeah, totally. You should totally release an 18-minute long song as the first track of the album.
Right.
As well, 5 tracks into it, they released like an electronic song that's not even metal at all, but it still works because it's them. So
Right.
it's more about making your own brand, I guess, than doing what a record label thinks is the most right thing to do. And as well, I think that's kind of that's the path that we're going down. I mean, none of us are in need of we're all capable of funding any of our adventures and our albums and stuff just between the 5 of us. So there's really no drastic need for a record label to jump in and tell us how they want to do things or whatnot. We definitely want to keep the creativity within ourselves.
Yeah. And that's got to be very refreshing and very liberating to where you don't have to depend on the label to steer you in any type of direction. You're going to write what you want to write.
Yeah, and I mean that's the way I am in all things in life. Really, I like to do things my way, and that's that. So I'm sure if there was ever a day where a record label was trying to steer us in a certain direction, I'm sure we would meet that with hostility. So we probably wouldn't be for us, I'd imagine. But who knows? We're open to many possibilities. We're just kind of seeing how things go after the first album. Really, it's still so new to us. It's only been out for a week, so.
Yeah. But, even, mentioning that it is the first album, that's got to be such like a milestone as a musician to say, this is my first album that's out. I mean, it's got to be an incredible feeling.
It really is, honestly. All of us, like we've all been in other bands and stuff all over the province, really, and some have reached some level of success for sure. Like my band previously, I was the singer. I didn't even play guitar in it actually. We almost had an album out. It just didn't work out, and we ended up kind of going our separate ways and creating this. Um, but yeah, I mean, every one of us is pretty excited to actually have something that we really believe in and we really, we perform to the best of our ability at always as well. So looking forward to the second release, to be honest. We've already started working on it. So
Oh, really?
yeah, hopefully sooner than later, that'll be coming out.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of downtime right now. So, yeah, might as well get busy.
Yeah, I can say that. I mean, I just got back from a pretty lengthy vacation, so
Oh,
I could be putting more time into the guitar. But now that I'm back, I'm even more inspired to do so. So.
yeah. Now, when it comes to writing for yourself or, when you're writing songs, is there any point to where you maybe overthink a song too much to where you kind of have to put it down, step back for a bit, then eventually come back to it?
Yeah, well, somewhat. I mean, I try to do that, but in all honesty, when I'm writing music, once I get that feel, I get that riff, or I get that inspiration, I have to follow it through to the end, or else, if I put a little bit in and I'll come back to it a couple days later, I've lost the fire, and it's I got to start over, and I'm just not feeling it anymore. So all the songs that I've written for this band have been from start to finish written in one sitting, just because that's the only way I can keep the pizzazz going, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive compared to some bands they'll write one section and then they'll come back to it. And then, you know, uh, so sometimes it's all over the place as opposed to, like you're saying, in the moment and you're able to construct the whole thing.
Yeah, well, once you get a feel, you got to stick with it. Like it's such a fleeting thing. It can disappear with a moment's notice. I don't even allow myself to go get food if I'm hungry while I'm writing music. If once I get that feeling, I'm like, nope, I'm sitting here, canceling all plans. I'll starve. I'll get someone else to bring me coffee or something, and I'm not going to sleep or doing anything. Mine is going to the bathroom basically until this song is complete, and then I immediately send it out to the guys, and I'm like, what do you think? Anything you want to change? And I don't think they've done so yet, actually. Usually it's just it's pretty easy process for the most part.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice feeling. Now, you said you already started writing new music. Unfortunately, we got, of course, this pandemic going on. So keeping busy, especially for a musician as artist, is always like a difficult thing because you used to always either producing music or doing something creatively. So other than writing new songs, how else are you keeping yourself kind of busy and kind of sane?
Well, like this year has been crazy for lots of people for sure. And I mean, at the beginning of it, I definitely wanted to. I was like, I'm gonna write the whole next album. I'm gonna do this for sure. I think I wrote a song or two, and I was like, I'm bored. I need to go outside, and ended up, going on like 3 months of trips all across the mountains and all over the place. Obviously, careful, socially distanced, and being as cautious as possible. But I mean, I took this opportunity of being off work and to get out and find some of that inspiration again. Instead of just sitting in a basement writing music all day long, I felt it suited me more to go relax in the mountains and go rock climbing and see the ocean and whatnot. So,
Yeah.
but now that it's all over and it's currently blizzarding here where I am right now, I guess it's time to start writing again because can't do anything else right now. So
Yeah. You kind of get, once the blizzard hits in, you kind of get just stuck and you can't really go anywhere too. So,
yeah, I mean
like,
whether it's work or snowboarding, that's what all I do in the winter. So plenty of time for writing the next album.
yeah, very cool. Now, for the album, would you say there's like a underlying theme throughout the whole thing, or do you feel like every song has its own individual story?
I mean, I think there's a bit of a theme. I to be honest, Jose, our singer Josiah, he's the lyrical guy. I haven't really taken much part in the lyric aspect of the band. I've just been pretty much just doing the riffing. But it's I'd say everything that he's written has followed a pretty simple theme of like, just um, mental health struggles and pretty well the theme of the band in a way. Like everybody deals with stuff and it's very uplifting and positive. And I think it's been good for him as well as all of us to to be able to express some of the things that we're all feeling inside so yeah, I guess that's more so the theme of it all: mental health and hoping, thinking positively about the future in a way.
Right. Now, was there any hesitation at any point to release this album, considering you're not able to tour behind it?
There was a little bit, yeah, there was a brief discussion about it, but I mean, we honestly thought like, you know, for what fans we do have, like we've been talking about this album forever. For us to delay it another day longer would be unacceptable. Like
Yeah.
it'd be doing a disservice to the people sitting at home wanting new material. People are, we can't go see shows, and that's unfortunate. I think we're all aching for a good mosh pit right now, but I mean, until that happens, it's nice to see some of the work that people have been putting out and the art as well, and and as well what people have been doing with like what lots of bands have been doing with live streaming on the internet, and like some of it's pretty amazing. Seen some of my favorite artists like Devin Townsend doing just like shows by himself in his basement
Yeah.
and raising money for charities as well. And it's a wonderful thing how positive musicians can be when they're faced with, okay, well, we can't play shows live anymore. What are we going to do? And they just figure it out. They'll do whatever it takes, and we want to be a part of that for sure. And we're actually trying to organize a live stream show for ourselves probably in the next month. We're hoping.
Very cool. Yeah, that's from what I hear, it's a big production to try to do something like that, to get it put together, because it's not just the band showing up and it's like, okay, let's go ahead and start playing. No, there's other things behind the scenes going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not
well,
simple.
just the gear alone, like the basic internet connection that is required to be able to do something like that is beyond me. I'm not as tech savvy guy as thankfully the rest of the guys in the band are. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we've got our jam space all outfitted for recording live jams now, and we got we should have the gear. So we're gonna start doing some tests, and once we can do a proper live stream, we're gonna be announcing on our Facebook and Instagram and everything, and people can come check it out. Hopefully.
Very cool. Now, being a relatively new band, what do you think has been the hardest part of trying to get your name out and trying to get your music out?
The hardest part, yeah, I think it's quite difficult for bands to escape from that local scene that they're in. Like, obviously the next step for us is to, get out of Alberta and go see BC. And I think the hardest part about it is getting the contacts and just knowing who to speak to. And thankfully, we worked with John Asher to promote our album and get it out there and get some people talking about it and listening to it, and got it on Spotify. And as well, we're going to be doing some of our own marketing and promotion too. So, once this pandemic is all done and over with, hopefully, we got a pretty good enough base, and we got some momentum that we can, start calling some promoters and all across the country, hopefully, and, get on some festivals, hopefully even down into the States at some point if they can fix their COVIDness.
Yeah, I know, no kidding, right? One of the things I had talked to one of the guys from Cataclysm was because he also manages and has his own promotion, to where if we do start to tour, or bands start to tour, that the market is going to be so flooded next year.
Yeah.
And that, right now, unfortunately, we have some venues that have been closing down because, of course, there's no funds, to where it's going to be a tight spot to try to get into a venue to be able to play.
Yeah, but at the same time, like you said, people are going to be aching for it. Like,
Oh, yes,
as soon as
yes.
there's a show, fans of metal, they're not even going to care who's playing. They're going to be there. Like,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
totally into it. People are just dying for a mosh pit and a couple pints of beer. Like,
Yeah.
and as well, we've been dealing with the same thing in Red Deer. We're about to lose our last venue, and we're going to have no proper live venues left in the city that we live in. Thankfully, we're right in between Calgary and Edmonton, so we can branch out there and go beyond Red Deer. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to be, I think, a struggle coming forward, is just the sheer lack of venues that'll be standing after all of this.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I think a lot of the venues that are still around know that the music fan base out there is like desperately waiting for the next thing to happen. So.
Oh, hell yes. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a show every night at every venue that's still left open.
Yeah, not a person's gonna miss a day. 7 days a week, metal all day. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah. Then you go to work all hungover.
Yeah, I can't imagine the first festival that we all get to go to. It's gonna be absolutely mind blowing. We're all dying for it.
Yeah, it's been way too long. It seems like forever, although it's only been since the beginning of this year. But it just seems like way too long. And people are fed up with it, but we still got to maintain what we're doing to for the betterment, and so for everything gets back to normal.
Yeah, and as well, it's just like trying to support some of the local musicians as well. Not everybody is doing as well as others. Like, some people are really dependent on the live entertainment aspect of the industry just for a living. So I mean, it was trying to come up with great ideas. Like, I've heard about some companies that usually were doing just live music. Obviously, that's not an option right now. So they're putting together packages for bands to do like live streams over the internet, and like a really well produced version of it. So it's really great that they're starting to get out there and do that. And I think it's really good for fans and musicians all together to just get up and support some of these people as well, as they depend on us to be able to do it.
Right. Heck yeah. And speaking about support, other than, purchasing the new album which just released last week, titled Event Horizon, what else can kind of fans do to kind of help support your band right now?
Just keep listening to it, keep enjoying it, share it, show it to your favorite metalheads. Get it out there. Once we can play shows, come to our shows, buy some merch. But ultimately, we just do this because we love it. So, we want to get as many people as we can to love it as much as we love it. So, honestly, all we can ask is people just keep enjoying it and keep sharing it and keep an eye out for any future announcements for live streams and potential shows. And even I know that we've definitely there's been a couple socially distanced metal shows that have gone on in Alberta so far. So we're going to start looking into that. Yeah, a good friend of mine's band from Kelowna called The Unending that just did a show in Calgary recently, and sounds like it went off really well. So if they can do it, we can do it too.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I've noticed also in Europe, they've slowly but surely are opening up the venue capacities. I think initially was at 25%. Now they're kind of up to like 50%. Some bands are starting to tour over there. So at least there's a positive. There's like a little silver lining almost kind of creeping in.
Yeah, I think it depends where you are in Europe. Some countries are certainly dealing with it much worse than others. But it's really refreshing to see all of these huge festival lineups coming out for 2021. It's like, I really hope that happens. Like, there's a couple
right?
I intend on going to in the UK next year, and it's for them. It's in July and August, and I'm like, is it going to be better by then? I hope so, because I'm going to buy a ticket. So,
right, in the hopes of. I know right now, I think I'm holding on to like 6 different concert tickets that are supposed to be for hopefully rescheduled for next year. So hopefully it all makes.
I don't know. I was supposed to see Rage Against the Machine this year, and it's just canceled.
Oh my gosh.
That's a band that I've never seen, that I never thought I'd ever see. And I was like so excited, and then nope, canceled due to COVID.
Yeah, that was a bummer. I know I wanted to see them too, and sure enough, it did get canceled, unfortunately. Yeah. So, kind of coming to the end of our interview, is there anything else that you would like to promote for the band, or any last parting words?
No, just a whole lot of the same, really. We're really excited to have this out there, and I'm, just seeing it on Spotify, and we just found out today we got over 1,000 streams, and it's only been a week. So, I just hope people keep enjoying it, honestly, and I hope everybody can keep showing their friends and showing their family and showing whoever loves metal, because I think that there's a piece of everybody who likes metal. There's a little piece of all genres in our music. So, somebody will find something they enjoy about it, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Josh,
that's about it. Yeah, it's really good to get out there and good to talk to you and talk to other people, and looking forward to the future for sure.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully, you're a little bit north from me, but maybe I'll be able to see you one day.
We'll make our way for sure. We'll be all over the place before you know it, hopefully.
All right, excellent. Well, Josh, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you as well. Have a good one, man.
Thanks. You take care. Bye.